Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day. I wanted to talk to you today about how to make your Thanksgiving healthier. And today I'm covering just 4 of the tips that I share in my post. If you want to read more about the tips that I'm going to share today, and also if you'd like to read the rest of the tips, you can look in the description, which is where I'm going to put a link to the post. All right, so just a reminder, I have 2 screens, and this screen is where my camera is. And then sometimes I have to look over to my other computer because that's where my blog post is, so I can share the information with you. Okay, so one way to make your Thanksgiving healthier is with your vegetables. Now, I know a lot of you like to make that traditional green bean casserole. So some ways to make that healthier is to make sure that you use, if you can use fresh green beans, use that because that's the best always. If not, you can use the frozen ones. Just make sure they're just the frozen green beans, not made in any other sauce or anything, because a lot of times that extra sauce has a lot of sodium in it. And then if you're going to include that cream of mushroom soup, luckily there is healthy choices for that. There's either the Healthy Request soup if you use the name brand, and if you use the store brand, they have it's a low fat, low cholesterol soup. So you can look for either one of those. And for the milk that's in the recipe, make sure you only use non-fat milk. And for the soy sauce, make sure you use low sodium soy sauce, not the regular kind. So all of those things will help make your green bean casserole much healthier. The second thing is for your rolls. So for making your rolls healthier, if you decide to buy the store-bought rolls, luckily around Thanksgiving there's tons of choices of rolls because they know that everybody buys the rolls. By the way, since I also talk about saving money, make sure you look for the ones that are really on a good sale. Sometimes they'll say they're on sale, but they're not for a great price. So try to find some really good sales price rolls. So when you look for the rolls, if you buy store-bought, look for 100% whole wheat. Those are going to be your best bet for the healthiest choice. And if you make them yourself, you just need to know what ingredients to substitute. So if it calls for shortening, don't use that. You can use light margarine instead. If it calls for eggs, don't use just a regular whole egg. You can either use egg whites. You can separate them out yourself, but that's a lot of trouble. So they have cartons of egg whites. You can use those. Or if you really want to use a whole egg, make sure you get omega-3 eggs because those are still heart healthy for you. And for any milk that it calls for, just like for the green bean recipe and this rolls recipe, make sure you use non-fat milk. Don't use whole milk. And if there's other ingredients if you have a recipe that has other ingredients from what I've mentioned, please feel free to share it in the comments and let us know what kind of questions you have about what things should be substituted, and I'll be sure and answer them. And then for the delicious pumpkin pie, yes, there is a way to make the pumpkin pie healthier. Make sure that and one tip, make sure you make it the night before. You're supposed to refrigerate it for quite a while, plus it'll save you time. The Thanksgiving Day, you already have to make plenty of stuff. So if you make the pie the night before, that will be one less thing that you have to make on Thanksgiving Day. So make sure when you get the pumpkin, make sure it's pure pumpkin. Make sure you read the label on the can and that it's only pure pumpkin, because that's all that's in it. When it says pure pumpkin, that's it. When you look on the back, that's the only ingredient. There's no added sugar, there's no added salt, nothing. It's just pure pumpkin. I buy an unbaked pastry shell. I buy a refrigerated one, and it actually isn't too bad. It qualifies. It's only got 6 grams of fat and 130 grams of sodium and no sugar. So it actually qualifies for a heart healthy diet. So if you're going to buy an unbaked pie crust, make sure you look at the back of at the nutrition label and make sure it doesn't have more than 6 grams of fat, no more than 470 grams of sodium, and less than 6 grams of sugar. Sometimes 9 is okay, but less than 6 is better. If you make the pie crust yourself, just like with the rolls, make sure you use either egg whites or omega-3 eggs, not just regular eggs. And instead of whole milk, use non-fat milk. Are you seeing a trend here? See, a lot of the substitutions are the same. So it makes it pretty easy. Once you learn what the basic substitutions are, it's pretty easy to live healthy because the substitutions are basically the same. Once in a while, you'll come up with something, you'll think, what do I do for that? And then you can always come ask me. Also, pumpkin pie luckily is made with evaporated milk. Condensed milk is not something you should use at all. But luckily, pumpkin pie is made with evaporated milk, and that's fine to use. Let's see. Oh, and whipped cream, of course. You need to top your pumpkin pie with whipped cream. And lucky for us, there are light versions of whipped cream, so you can go ahead and use those. So make sure when you get it, sometimes it's small, you know, like the brand, it says whipped topping or something that's pretty big on the label, and then the light is usually above it. It could be below though, so make sure you just check. If you look for light whipped topping, then that's the good kind to go ahead and get. And then the other thing is not having to do with food. It has to do with exercise. Yes, you can go ahead and get a little exercise on Thanksgiving Day. And it will actually make your day much healthier and happier. And it's a nice time to spend with family. Where we live, they actually have a turkey trot Thanksgiving morning. And the entries, the money you have to pay for the entry goes to, you can pick whatever you want. Usually we pick my child's school. So that's also a nice thing. It helps the schools out. But it's a 5K walk or run. And almost all of us in our family participate. And it's a really fun thing to do together in the morning. We get up, eat breakfast, healthy breakfast, of course, and then go and do our 5K walk and run and enjoy the time together spent there as a family. And then come back and I start cooking everything for Thanksgiving Day. So that's a nice thing to do in the morning. It's a nice relaxing way to start your Thanksgiving morning, not so stressful. And you've got your exercise in for the day so you can concentrate on cooking the rest of the day. And it's a great idea. And then also, if you want, you can also go after Thanksgiving, maybe once the rest of the family is there and after everybody's enjoyed the Thanksgiving meal. Because the weather, at least here, it's not so bad right now. So at night, it cools down a little bit, but not too bad. So why not have all of your family that came over come and enjoy a walk around the neighborhood and just to get out instead of just sitting watching TV? Why don't you guys can all go for a walk? It doesn't have to be a long walk. Just walk around your neighborhood because any exercise is better than none. And it will be nice because all of your family members, you can still have nice discussions. There's no distraction of the TV, phones, everything. It's just a nice time to spend together walking and talking. So those are my 4 tips for how to make your Thanksgiving healthier. As I mentioned, if you want to see or the other tips or more details about the ones I mentioned, the link to the post is in the description. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below and I will be sure and answer them. All right, thanks. And I hope you have a great week and I will be back next Tuesday to talk to you some more about Black Friday shopping and how to make that healthier. All right, bye.